Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome to Shoreline Studio. I'm Sybil Mustick, and beside me for a change is Joshua Blanc. Now we are doing a composition exercise, and we're going to draw 5 items out of a hat, and then I'm going to try and make sense of the whole thing. It could be a total schmoz and it could be wonderful, so we'll just see how it goes. So Josh, it's up to you. Now pick something.
Okay. So, number 1.
Okay, number 1 is use a cruciform design. Okay, we can do that.
All right. Let's dig a little deeper here. Number 2.
Okay. And do a Van Gogh sky. All right.
Number 3.
All right. And do a grid. Well, that will tie in with the first one, the cruciform. Okay. Hopefully, I can make some sense of it.
And number 4.
But I have the option, I have decided that I can do as little as 3 or all of 5. Distinctive mark with brush. Oh, well, that will work with the sky. Okay, so far so good.
Last one.
Okay. And write positive words on foam and stamp with it. All right, we can do that one. Sure. All right. I think we got it all together. And I just want to show you, because I wrote, the words to begin with, and one of them was a teapot. And so I did, a bunch of designs and things, and with a teapot in mind, and a border design. So the grid could be a border design. We'll just see. I'll just start doing some sketching, and then we'll do some thumbnails. And then we'll maybe do a little interlude, and then I'll set up for the actual work on the gel plate. So thumbnail. So we have, are we doing all 5? No, that's a good question. The cruciform design for sure is kind of interesting. And I think we'll do a border treatment with a grid. So let's start with that. The whole point of composition is to combine the elements so that they all work together, and this is an exercise in creative thinking. So it makes you think outside the usual, outside the box, so to speak. So that it's an exercise if you're kind of stuck and you need to sort of fire up the creative juices again. And we'll put it all together. Okay, so we have sort of a sky idea. We have a cruciform design. Let's see, well, a sky indicates it's going to be a realistic kind of, so we could have maybe a bunch of trees here. A little bit of sky, and we could have maybe a moon and stars or whatever, and have halos around them, that kind of thing. And then we could do this as water and then do it again as a reflection. So that's one idea. So it's sort of a landscape in a cruciform idea, okay? And then our border treatment then will be the grid. Van Gogh used a fair amount of spirals and wavy things in skies. So that's something, we can do. Waves, and spirals, and then if you're doing a grid, that could just be some lines. Okay, so that's one idea for that. So it's okay, where do we put the words? Well, we could do words over the trees. The trees could have, maybe the branches are all words. What do you think?
That sounds good.
Okay. That's thinking outside the box for sure. Now let's change the cruciform. Maybe we'll have a very low. that idea. And the words could all be on here. Okay, we could put the grid on here and then just have the words over top. And it could be, now I have a sheet of paper that I did, and I just have a little tiny piece of plexi. Where did that go? Anyway, it's about this size, and I just put a little bit of my red iron oxide and just smeared it around with my finger and then just stamped it everywhere on there. So that might be a good background. And it's very grid-like already, so that might solve our grid situation. So that would be in this side. In this case, we won't do a border design. We've got our words and our cruciform, and then if we do a Van Gogh sky, all we need then are symbols of some kind, like our spirals. So we'll do spirals all over here. We won't do the, it'll feel Van Gogh-ish. Doesn't have to be actually the whole thing. And then maybe do a reverse, maybe do this in white and this in black. And then the spirals would be cut out. So we'll just say this is black. So positive and negative, and then the writing on the side. And I think that's sort of, you know, that's pretty good for that. Oh, we're missing something here. Oh, the mark, right. Oh, okay, let's do the mark on here. So we only had 4 for this one, but that's okay. We said 3 and up, right? Right, okay, let's start with a nice brush stroke. I'll use some India ink, and we'll just do a large brush stroke on here. And we'll probably get rid of the Van Gogh sky. I think we can do the cruciform design still. Just change it up in here. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. This is what you'll have to go through, is ponder on it, and something will come to you as you're working on it, and maybe it won't, you know, and you'll sit and think about it for a while, or go and do your dishes or something, and then suddenly the idea will pop in. I like the idea of this mark over top of all this stuff and the words behind here. And I have some stuff here. These could be our grids, so they're just sort of like little, like a honeycomb kind of grid. So that could be there and there. And we'll just leave this plain, and we'll make sure the mark goes up in here. Okay, I think we lucked out. I have a cruciform design and sort of a grid on here already on this piece I did last night. And I like the colors. I just wanted to get a background to begin with. So that's definitely useful. So we'll work with that. Now all we have to do, I have my brush here, sumi brushes. I have a whole whack of them. And we might use some of the other little ones. But I've decided on, I like the simple idea first. And we're going to do the writing on the side here. We'll do that as a transfer. And just see if we can do a nice mark here. And just rehearse a few of them. I put some Payne's Gray, some phthalo blue, and some red iron oxide in here. So if we think of maybe a spiral, that might give us a beautiful mark like that. This kind of thing you need your whole arm for. It's just sort of one motion. So spiral and then over. And that's kind of neat. Okay, maybe feather it out a bit more on the end. I might just water it down a wee bit. We'll see if it beads first of all, and if it doesn't, then I think we can go ahead. Okay, so spiral and then a nice mark like that. It's going to bead on us, but gee, how's that? Maybe a little bit nicer in here. See, you can just try all sorts of things. I'm not sure I mind the spiral in this case. See, this is how you get creative ideas. You just let it flow and, you know, stuff will happen. The universe will, you know, watch you do this and give you ideas. Ah, I like that. Okay. So, we might have to do another one. Let's print this and see what happens. I've got writing first, but I think that might not be the way to go, because I think it'd be kind of nice to have the writing overlapping the spiral. Oh, awesome. Okay. Now, don't forget everything reverses, right? So it really has that flow. I like it. Okay. So maybe a little bit of stenciling is called for. Okay, we'll put another interlude in here and we're going to find our stuff and then carry on. So I've put some blue down. It's just that light blue, sort of a cerulean. And I've decided to do a couple of these grid things up. There's one bigger one, probably down here. And then, whoops, and then one up here. It's a complement of the orange, and that will fit nicely. We're just going to daub it. A little dauber here. And I'll start on the corner and see what it looks like, because you never know, you don't want to wreck anything, but a little bit goes a long way. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, we just got to keep it light. Just a few of them, we sort of fade them out as we go across. Maybe what I'll do is I'll add a bit of water to this part. Let's see how that looks. Okay, not too unhappy with that. And I just wanted to overlap the spiral a little bit. You want to tie things together. See, it's faded on there. It doesn't take away from the spiral, and we have an interesting thing happening up there. Down below, I'm going to change color a little bit too, and we'll see what does that look like in here. More of a violet blue. And again, we'll water it down a wee bit. Okay. Yes, it just darkens it slightly and gives a bit of a hint of violet. And then how much? Maybe not as heavy as that, but maybe a little bit wider. Again, we'll practice on a corner here. Okay. Maybe not quite so much, not so heavy, since it's a wider area. And if it blobs a bit, that's all to the good. Okay. It's looking pretty good. I might just take a paper towel to that. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And then we have to consider these two corners, what we're going to do with that. Whether we leave them or we start adding more marks. Maybe that's where we'll put all the words. Okay, so we'll be back in a flash. We're going to consider our words, start writing something out, and then we'll do that on here as a transfer. So that's the last thing we're going to do is the words on here and here. And that will tie everything up. Okay, so I've wrote a bunch of words down that are sort of the right time and place for now. And we're going to put them on the gel plate. And then we're going to transfer because we used our 9B graphite pencil, the usual Faber-Castell 9B. It's called Pitt Graphite Pure 2900 9B. So there you go. Okay. So let's see if we can transfer that. And yep. Ooh, looks good. I embellished the peas a little bit because I made a mess of one of them and so they all ended up that way. It's okay. I'm not sure the writing will be all that important, but okay. Now, you can't really see, but it's iridescent. We have this copper background. I might go back in and maybe with Posca pen and we can maybe work with the spiral a little bit because we need a bit more contrast. That's the thing with composition is you have to balance, you have to look at it and evaluate what more you have to do. So the background is interesting, the mark needs to be a little stronger and there's ways of doing that, and then the writing will be here and here and you'll see that that will help. The way to transfer, of course, is just to use super matte medium. So let's see how this transfers. And the thing with writing words on another paper is, and then it reverses when you put it on the plate and reverses once more when you print it. So it's one way to get writing on there. And some of you are calligraphers and can do that really well. I just sort of, you know, did the best I could. And it's all mark making. I mean, it doesn't really matter what your handwriting looks like because they become marks and they become part of the design. Of course, it's nice to have flourishes and all those kind of things, right? Okay, where's my writing? Okay. I think just leave it a bit more. Okay, we're going to leave it for a while. Typical with our matte medium, just sort of let it cook for a while. We'll do another little interlude and maybe give it a half an hour to an hour, and then we'll see a result. So we're back, and I just wanted to show you the marks have dried now that we did as practice marks, and they're really pretty interesting. So there's that one, and that one. I guess I had some paper stuck there anyway. Look at this one. Very cool. Anyway, ready for the big reveal. So we're just getting up the graphite transfer. And we did some words. Our little brief said to do some positive words. So that's good. And they came out really well. You can read them really well, I think. And the way to clean this is to use the mineral oil. Paper towel. See, it just comes off like a charm. To tie the composition up, I think we need to make that mark just a little bit darker. And I've just put some black Amsterdam paint, a little bit of gel medium and matte medium, and a little bit of the open acrylic, open thinner, and a little bit of water. So we should be able to get that on our sumi-e brush. And we just sort of have to remember a little bit how we did this. I'm just gonna it'll be slightly different, but I think it's gonna be fine. And again, we'll just, I can register it pretty good because that 1/4 inch on my plexi plate is under there. This is just my bond paper, the Hammermill 100. Yes, that's much better. And that will dry just like these ones, right? And you have, you know, a little bit of a remnant of the first one. So it's all good. Now you can carry on, maybe draw a few more words if you want. I think we're good for now. Try this exercise. I think this is a good way to be you know, getting those creative juices going, have some fun with it. So thanks so much for watching as usual, and try this exercise. Give yourself some real challenges to try. So as always, take care of yourselves and your families. Be kind to one another. Take care, and bye for now.